Hey guys, I'm gonna be showing you guys my creations today and playing crazy. Mostly it's just a lot of junk and stuff that I've just kept. Mostly it's probably 90% of it is just random stuff I built that I thought was, a little cool. And actually I have like one or two that I've built a long ago and I decided to keep. Just 'cause. Alright, we're gonna start with the first one. Slot 1. This it may seem a little out of like you don't know what's going on here. Basically, I have recently been trying to build some engines and stuff, and I've been trying to find a way to make a V engine that's on the same axle. So I had made this, and I really don't know what it is, but I just thought it was cool. It's really nothing special. I just add some wheels to it, and I can drive it around. Yeah, that's really it. It's nothing too special. Alright, next, this is one that I've had for maybe 9-10 months, so it's a little old, but it was a city that I've made. Just a big green platform with some little buildings and stuff. Basically, what I do is I turn it to night. Some of these roofs are actually loose, just so I can have a different kind of roof, Alright, whatever. Let's drop it down. And what you do is you turn it to night and you turn on the lights. Yeah, it's pretty cool, Nothing too much. I used to have that these buildings were actually every single thing was loose. Nothing actually was connected to the ground, and so I could like go up to and push over the buildings and stuff. And that was mainly just because I wanted to see what would happen. It's pretty cool, I also made one of those like tornado things, and I had it spin around the map. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too special. Just this random city I made. This didn't actually take me that long, probably 10 minutes maybe to build, but it's not that impressive of a creation as some of my others. Alright, slot 3. This was an idea. I just built this recently. And, what's this dude doing? Just built this recently. It's a mobile porta potty with tank steering and some weird looking suspension. I really don't. Why is it the day is so wacky? Yep. If you open the door, you could see the stuff that goes on. But okay, there's something whack going on. Okay, there we go. Finally, the day is actually normal. So yeah, just a random porta potty. There really isn't that much to it. Alright, here's the second and last thing that I've kept. This is probably 6 to 8 months old. It's a McDonald's MD80, and the story behind this. My first ever flight, I was in a McDonnell-Douglas MD80. I was heading from Chicago O'Hare Airport to Boston. So, yeah. And I was in a Delta one. That's why it's colored like Delta, a Delta livery. And, I thought that was a pretty cool thing to make. Surprisingly, this thing is so awesome. You know what? I'll fly it first. So, let's just do it, quickly. And you turn on the smoke right afterwards. And it goes pretty fast. This isn't max speed, actually. I think max speed's like 500. Yeah, look at that. Pretty much 500. And this thing is pretty awesome to the point where you can get rid of the main wings and still kind of be able to control the plane. Let me do that just now. Let's get rid of all this. Like that. And then all this. And basically, just these wings back here and these engines are enough to get this plane, I think, in the air. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, come on, that's... I mean, is that cool? That's pretty dang cool. You can, like, roll it over, though, and crash into the water like I just did. But, yeah, it's... I mean, that's just a surprising thing I found probably a few months ago. 3 months ago. And, I mean... it also looks pretty funny, too. Not gonna lie. Alright, next up I have a Falcon 9 I probably built a month ago. And it was just trying to... Just cause, I mean, I'm a fan of SpaceX and Tesla right now, so... Launch it, take that off, and then take it up. The reason why the tower is shaking is because it's on wheels, and since I had to use like a whole ton of ballast blocks, it's shaking. So now that I slowed down the rocket, I dropped it. Now I'm gonna wait for it a little bit. Alright, seems to be coming down now. Let's deploy the parachute real quick. You can see it extended the landing gear. So now I can get rid of the parachute, let it fall a little faster, and I can land the booster. Eventually, also the upper half of it will come down sooner or later. Oops, too much. Alright, let's just... No, don't tip over. Alright, we got it. So... yeah, I mean, you can see we got the landing legs out. The landing... Oh, the top part of it just fell. You can see it's got some helium just to keep it up, you know. Just to keep it straight. Alright. Next up, we got a helicopter I made. It's really just a small thing. I mean, it's got a whole bunch of speakers on the bottom with, what do you call it? I forgot the name. Oh, it's that Vietnam War music, you know. I can't think of it. But anyways, it's just a simple thing that I made. I mean, nothing special. You could do tricks in it, I guess. I mean, it's not the best helicopter, but it works and it gets me places. Alright, next we have a jetpack I made. This is basically a replica of the bigger version, or a replica of the smaller version. And so when I get into it, I just raise it up, you know, and I go. I rarely use it, but I thought it was pretty cool. But when you go over things, I mean, it's not the best. It definitely, due to when you go over things, it does that because of the hover thrusters. And next thing is I call it a little tank. I really don't know what it is. It's just a thing with tank treads. You just tighten them up and you go. Oh gosh, I set the motors to max. That's great. But he uses, tank steering, of course. But it's cool, I guess. I mean, I don't really have a use for it at all. But anyway, next up is I call it a steam Stirling engine. I don't actually know if it's a Stirling engine. If you look that up, you'll know what I mean. But it represents on how a steam locomotive is powered. Of course, these motors are powered to themselves. There's no way to actually get a working, piston. But you can see the piston, goes back and forth. And gosh, this thing is a little too fast. Let me slow down. Let me turn him to 5. Okay, copy that. Do that. All right. You can see that's actually how the, the the horizontal motion of the piston is transferred to the wheels. But it's just a small kind of representation. I just built it for fun because that's when I was trying to build different types of piston engines and stuff. But anyway, on to the next one. Slot 10 is huge ship. I just built this because I felt like it. It's just a big foldable, non-decorated ship. Oops, I guess it's fine here. Yeah, this thing folds out. I should probably spawn this in the water. There. It's a pretty big creation, but it's not the biggest one that I've ever created, of course. But it's just something to have. It's pretty cool. It's pretty big. I do have to use a whole ton of super rockets to get this thing. Ooh, gosh, that was pretty dang loud, and it's pretty dang laggy. My FPS, yeah, that's pretty laggy. All right, next thing, slot 11, is just ship. This was my first ever attempt at like a combat or kind of like a modern military ship. I don't exactly know what to call it because I didn't base it off of anything. But I mean, it's cool, I guess. I do have to use wing panels on the side to help it not roll over and just capsize. But anyway, slot 12, I have this just a dump truck. Oh, I shouldn't spawn it in the water. Whoops. I just have this like dump truck thing. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's useful for dumping things on other people's plots, which honestly I rarely do. I mean, I don't exactly find that fun like other people do or something. Like dumping a speaker, blaring something on someone else's plot. I don't find that cool, I guess. But next up is one of my most favorite creations ever. I have built a Tesla Model X, and I mean, of course, it's not the best looking, but you can see here and here. But I do have a front trunk, or a frunk as it's called, that works. And I do have, yep, a spoiler, retractable spoiler that also when it goes up, it changes the wheel level because I attach the beams to the wheel itself. But it's a significant height. It's probably changes like a quarter of a block. But anyway, I also have the Falcon wing doors, which I absolutely love. These things look epic and they work fabulously. I mean, come on. Is that not cool? Seeing that open. Also, this thing does have the Tesla, like, thing noise, warning noise, I guess. And then kind of noise to go with it. I don't have the best system, the traction system. It's pretty bad at turning. Unlike the real thing. The real thing is, like, incredible. But anyways, oh, what the heck is that? Oh yeah, I can do donuts on the terrain. Alright, next thing. We have this thing called... Okay, I don't... Oh yeah, so while I was building this, I was trying to build something where it would represent the valves on a piston engine opening and closing relative to the piston speed. So you only had to change one motor speed. So I only have this motor powered, and like literally everything else is unpowered. Every single other motor. Oh, and this one too. And basically what it does, this thing goes down, pops open this exhaust thing. It comes up, closes, and it opens the air and fuel mixture. I haven't brought in a, what do you call it, a spark kind of thing, but I'll change this to, like, let's say 20. So you can see that it changes relative to how fast this motor's turning and how fast the piston's moving, which I think is pretty dang cool. Alright, next I have a frigate I built. If you don't know what frigates are, they're modern military ships that are based to move and maneuver quickly and well. So if I do that, I fold the ship. And I do have moving turrets and stuff. Of course, they don't actually work. This is just meant as a creative thing. But I think it's pretty dang cool as I retract this a little bit and I can move this thing up and retract a anchor. It does take a little bit, and I think I should retract that a little bit more. There we go. And hopefully it won't get caught on the bottom of the ship. Oh, actually, it got jammed, but whatever. And that's the reason why this ship is leaning so much. So I'm just gonna quickly get rid of this little thing just so I can showcase this ship better. And there we go. Got some spinny things at top. And it's pretty dang laggy. But I mean, it has a buttload of propellers because they need it. And I mean, it doesn't, I wouldn't exactly call it a frigate, but it moves, I guess. I don't exactly know what to call it. Plus, this is the first ever folding ship that I really put some time into. The other big one that I showed that was like the huge ship, that one I just really built out of just complete boredom. Alright, next we have this mobile like nightclub thing. Currently it doesn't play any music because I didn't really put any audio into it. I didn't change the audio at all into the speakers, but it serves as, I was going to put water wheels on here and let it serve as a boat. And so I turn on these lights, turn it to night, and I'll play music. But there's the stupid thing where the lights sometimes die off and I have to restart them. But anyway, it's pretty cool, we got a little drink bar, you got a dance floor, which Looks pretty cool under lights. Got this little black tile, which is really glass, and the water underneath it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I got some seats so people can sit down and then I can spawn it into the water. And this, I originally had train wheels on here. So this was a nightclub on rails. Also, I don't know what to call it, nightclub or whatever, or club, DJ booth. And it would go around the rails and stuff. And it could stop at that station. And this, why is it turning dark again? It would use this ramp right here. People could get on easily. All right, next we have this, which is kind of junk. Me and my brother were originally going to do an attachable base where we both build half of it and we attach them together using these like little kind of I don't know what to call them, but yeah, basically they're a block and then you put a half wedge like that, and that would serve to slide into here. So anyway, I think the day is fixed now. For some reason, it has this little glitch where you set it to night, and then you cycle right quickly back to day. It'll kind of just glitch out and turn dark again, like slowly. Anyway, I have this slot 18. I have a coach bus, and I built this a while. I should not spawn that in the water. I built this a while ago. It shakes for some reason. It didn't used to shake, but I think it's just due to updates and stuff. It drifts, which I think is pretty cool, but kind of not necessary. I guess that has lights and stuff. Oh, it stopped shaking. And the coolest thing is that I fit a little door opening system into it. I mean, come on. And you have plenty of space to walk up. Doesn't look that bad, does it? I could add like another stair there and cover it up even more. But it's pretty cool. Really not much anything to the coach bus other than a bunch of seats. And here I have a crane. This doesn't really work well, but it unfolds into a crane. And I have this like, oh yeah, also that fell off. Let's get rid of that. So, I usually have to move this thing up around here a little bit for the rope to fall through. I have to press T to kind of unleash the rope. There, now it's all out. So I can move this forward, Let's bring this back up. Hello, dude. And I can move the crane around and stuff. Great, I just got it hooked. But anyways, I can move the crane around. And if I press the button that I use to fold it into itself, I can move for some reason. Like I can turn it and I can move. It's pretty fun. Because I can just go into another person, like right next to another person's face, turn around and, like hook them up. Have them stand on the hook. It's pretty epic. But, I mean, most times, of course, they just continue building. Let's see if I can. Come on, get on the hook, please. Okay, yeah, they're not getting on. Alright, next we have I call it a little bugger, which I basically just like made a little kind of Volkswagen Beetle. The wheels don't move and it uses propellers to power itself. It can like kind of drift, pretty epic. I just ran over that person. My bad. Whoops. Skirt, skirt, skirt. But yeah, anyway, nothing too special. It's still not too shabby. I haven't really been able to create a front, so I just use text as an alternative. It works. Anyway, okay, this is another one of my favorite creations. I use this a lot. And let's see, I should. Okay, maybe it'll be fine, but it's a drift Camaro. I mean, I didn't really know what to call it. It doesn't exactly look like a Camaro, especially the front. It's kind of just a generic car. But I mean, you start it up, I just have sounds, and then I press 3, and it has a, car drifting noise. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, so I just, also it has a, if you don't have the car noise on, I have a revving noise, which is I just use a GTR, Nissan GTR R35 as the revving noise and the speed up, like, not speed up, what am I talking about? Acceleration. But I have a Nissan Skyline R34 as as the drift noise. And I have the cones right there. Of course, they have anchor blocks, and I move them and use them as like a figure 8 kind of thing. But anyway, next I have this tank, which is actually meant for PvP. Basically, it's fast, it has sparklers, and if you press F, it fires all 12 rockets. It's pretty dang maneuverable, not or whatever I said. And it has all 10 gun blocks as the barrel. I could have used motor locking, but that would have just taken up too much space for this small thing. I have no way to tilt the gun barrel up, and it's just kind of just a little cool thing. Also, I have cutter blocks on the front and back. Alright, last 3 things. Oh boy, this was kind of a troll creation I made. It's filled to the brim with spheres. And it used conveyor blocks to move. I'm not going to spawn it in because it causes a butt ton of lag, and I'm not going to lag the server, but you get the idea. It's just this big thing. And next I have a minigun. This is pretty cool. So I have it so it spins and it kind of shakes using this thing right here. It spins and I have a noise for it. Of course, it would actually shoot, and since it spins like a normal, minigun, it spreads a lot better, and it's kind of like it's pretty cool. It's a cool creation, but I don't use it a lot. It's just because I was bored. Next, my final creation. This is my 3rd favorite creation. This is a P38. I built this because someone had mentioned Glacier Girl, which is a P38 that was stuck under a sheet of ice for a while and then was recovered and was still able to fly, which is pretty spectacular. So I do have a propeller noise. Jesus, it's pretty loud. I'll move away. But it's a fun thing to fly. Honestly, I use it a lot. It gives a cool view or a cool experience to the people I fly over. So if I do that, I fly over them. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And that concludes the tour of my creations. Honestly, would I have an autosave? This thing? I don't really know. Yeah, sure, I'll show this autosave creation. It's just meant to be a high lift plane. So that's why I use propeller blocks, or the propeller blades in the middle. And it's pretty cool. You can do flips. But anyway, that concludes the tour of my creations. This game is plain crazy, and I highly suggest any PC players to check it out. Mobile players will have a tough time playing it because, it's just more PC friendly. Anyway, that has been this 30-minute recording. I'm gonna have fun editing this video, but I'll see you guys later.